Alright, so this is probably a quick video. But I was watching this video about with a cops episode or incident domestic violence and how they were talking about it. It was cool. I've been thinking about like how like to redo the police because I'm not for defunding the police and I'm not for ending qualified immunity because I do believe that qualified immunity is supposed to be there to cover the cops' ass when shit gets out of hand. Um, so that they have a because they are putting their life on the line, doing SWAT, cops, protecting the city, chasing down criminals, keeping them in line, going after your stolen property, keeping the bad in check. So I mean, I do think the cops need to be given a little bit of respect because they also do have a lot of power. But I do think they need to also go through a lot more training, and I do think they need to realize that they work for the people. But I also do think that with health, I do think all cops, like one of the things I will be changing with the police training is put them all through a good, I don't know how long you would need to really, maybe an up, every, have a class and then have an up every month or whatnot to keep you sharp. Because I do think cops need to be one physically in shape, but also mentally, emotionally, dealing with all the stuff they deal with, but also so they can deal with people and handle their own emotions, their own things while they're dealing with people, trying to de-escalate the situation, and honestly build a trust bond with the people. Let them know that they're here to keep, they're the line, the line that's keeping the good safe and the bad in their place. So I mean, I do think all cops should be going through like de-escalation training, hostage training, in a matter of speaking, psychology training. I do think we should take this job a little bit more serious, physically and mentally. Also by the law and constitution. I don't think women should not be in the police department. I mean, I'm a big advocate for for patriarchy and women in the home. I don't think they belong in the work field, military, or anything. But definitely not in the police department at all. Not in any factor. Um, but I do think men. I mean, the men need to be put into working out and actually keeping their physique. And I do think they should be put on notice that if you don't, I mean, like almost treat it like a military. I mean, I'm completely fine with that. I mean, I'm completely fine with like a lot of cops just walking the beats, walking the streets. I mean, I wish we had a little bit more respect for that. I mean, we have more respect for criminals and sociopaths and fucking actors and musicians than we do doctors, cops, lawyers, scientists. I mean, people that are actually really changing, doing things that are actually trying to change the world, or at least supposed to be. Um, yeah, I mean that goes with the police department. I mean, I've broken down the whole thought process between DCYF and CPS. I do think we should, and along with all the father groups and mother groups out there, I think we should combine them and actually build this organization around the family unit. That also ties in with my other beliefs, where I do think, I'm sorry, gay marriage should not be a thing. I think marriage should be between a man and a woman. Like dating, this because we are the land of the free, and you can do what you want, whatever, to a point. To a point. I mean, like there's gonna be certain things you cannot do, especially out in public. And just have respect. I mean, I don't really see any Christians out there grabbing pitchforks and fucking trying to chase down gays. Even though gay is actually a sin in the Bible, I see a lot of churches being very welcoming. And I see a lot of these videos about pastors going down to gay pride, just trying to like save souls, not really bad mouthing or cussing or anything like the people at gay pride are doing. So I do think like marriage should be between marriage, relationships from wise, situationships, whatever. That I mean I could only like show you the way to the puddle. I can't make you go to it. I can't make you drink it. I can't make you build a home near it. That's all I can do is hope that you find your way. But when it comes to CPS and TCYF, I do think we should have a family unit where a man, like the team that comes out to homes to deal with parents and kids and situations. I do think you should have the father and mother aspects in it, with a man and woman as a team that come out, not two women. I'm not against two men. Um, we can have a debate about that, but I do think definitely at least we need a woman and a man coming out. I think the man should take lead because I think we can actually, um, understand and be direct. I think the woman is there to keep it chill, keep it calm and peaceful. So is the man, but he's not going to sugarcoat it. And I think we need to be real with. I mean, like the parents that are being dealt with. I mean, CPS, like, are you serious? Do you want your kid? Do you want your life back? What are we doing here? I mean, you're on drugs, this, that. Maybe your postpartum depression's kicking in. Maybe you and the baby daddy broke up. Maybe I mean, like, for whatever reasons. There's a lot going on. That's also why I do think women that, especially if it's your first child, I do think that you should be put through therapy to help you regulate your emotions. But I do think we should stop feminizing our society. We need to have more of a masculine patriarchy approach to building and fixing our society, because that's where we align in actually fixing problems. Because I'm not here, like, your feelings is not what shapes, your decisions and choices. And holding yourself accountable and whatnot, and having responsibility for those. I mean, how you feel about it is irrelevant to a point. It's more the fact that it's like, what do you want? What do you want out of life? You're here in this situation. You're doing drugs, have kids, no man, maybe a man that's doing drugs with you. Where do you want your life going? I think we need to stop coddling and babying. That's why I think we need the parent fucking, aspect in this society. Definitely in a lot of you know DCYF, the court systems, they need to be rewritten, especially the family court. I mean, obviously the whole entire court system. We need to, like, change some things. Family court needs to change a lot. Um, I was gonna try to stick with that. Let me get a short video, but I mean, all of this stuff all comes together. With religion, and I mean, our government needs to have more respect for Christianity. And I do think the United States needs to have a little bit more respect for Christianity, because Christianity was the founding religion of America when it was first founded. But I am okay with, as long as as long as Christians pick 10 or 20 key markers that symbolize what their religion is about, and if your religion falls in line with those markers, and I think maybe you should have to, like, fall in line with all of them, or at least a good majority. Then you can be joining the Council of the United States. It's like the King Arthur Round Table. King Arthur is the king, which with Christianity would be the founding religion of the United States. But all the other religions would sit around there as the knights of America, and we can have a open mind, moral and facts and logical and rationality and critical thinking of thought process running this country, guided by morals and values and valor, honor and respect, understanding. And that's kind of like where I mean, that's why I'm also okay. I'm okay with one world government. At first, I was a little bit hesitated because I've always had these government conspiracies and thoughts in my head about one world government being bad. But as I've come to gotten older and come to really think about it, I think it goes along with the whole Star Trek aspects of where like one government, the Starfleet, they run the whole Earth. I mean, but in a more practical, realistic reality aspects, I mean, like one world government where, like, you can have like North Korea being a branch of the United States, or we can actually come together with the government of NATO, or one of the. I mean, NATO is actually trying to. I mean, in a way, doing that with coming together of many governments, forming NATO, so that if you by chance have a problem with this one government here, then you might have to worry about dealing with the other ones if you cross certain lines. I mean, and that NATO is pretty much a one world government. um, I mean, do you think we? I mean, how do you build the wall? I mean, I'm for the wall. I'm for. I mean, I think everybody honestly is. We're for people coming in. But we have to be cautious with how you come in, how fast people come in, and all that. Because breaking the law is not okay coming in here because it spits in the face of everybody that's actually waiting these long years to get in here. Not including it has to be years because like we can't just. I mean, if we like, I mean, honestly, what like, because you got to think how many people are trying to come into America every year, and we have to let one or 100 people or 1,000 people in every year, or 5 years or 10 years, so we let 100 people in every year. 5 years, that's 500 new people. I mean, I'm sure that's even more. I mean, I'm sure there's more than that we allow in the United States every year. Um, I mean, not including the hundreds of thousands, or millions that are actually coming in here illegally. Like, and to my knowledge, paying the cartel or one of these other organizations to sneak them in or get them close enough to the border, and then they just walk across. So, I mean, and I mean, taxes. I mean, taxes. That's. I mean, I wasn't so much for them, years ago, but I've come to understand money and inflation and the economy and the dollar bill. I've had a lot more respect for the dollar bill, understanding and different outlook and views on it now. I do think money is definitely it's one of the things that it gets a great definition of our godly ability to turn nothing into something, killing trees just to make money that we've come to rely on to make the world go around. I mean, because you don't really need money to dig up oil. You need money to pay a man to dig up oil. So, I mean, we need something. I mean, barter system. I mean, especially now. I mean, how would the barter system work even in today's day and age? I mean, you would go. I mean, you have to go to college, which I do think that college is for the best and the brightest. I don't think college is for everybody. I don't think it's supposed to be for everybody. I think it's for the best and the brightest. Not everybody was supposed to go. Those were like the top dog. Like, if you wanted to go to college, you had to be something unique, special, above average, at least. Above average. You had to be a 6 or higher. Like, if you were a 5 or lower, you were not going to college. Me, personally, I mean, no. I would not be going to college. Now, my son, maybe. I mean, his mother's very, is smart. I'm not dumb. I mean, so our kid seems to be quite intelligent. So I mean, possibly, but he might not, because not everybody is destined to go to college. I do think college should honestly be one takeout sports. I just don't think you should get a college scholarship for sports, and I do think you should go to college for stuff that is actually beneficial to society. If it ties in with your interests, sure, whatever. Like architect, welding, engineering, quantum physics, surgery, becoming a doctor, stuff that is beneficial to society. Um, Stuff like that, I think that's where you go to college. And I do think, you learn how to, I mean, have certain things in there that will help you. I mean, because maybe you want to get into politics. Um, and I mean, if you take doctor, you take depending on what field, because you could be one like you become a doctor, and then you might want to go work in the board for an office, and then you might get on the board, and then you want to go even higher, to where you can actually control the fundings that goes to hospitals to help these hospitals get more fundings or this, you know. So I mean, I think college is for somebody that's actually gonna bring something beneficial to society. I don't think like fashion design and shit like that. No, if you want to make a cheesy fashion design school to where you teach people about fashion, color matching, and all that shit, whatever. But I don't think that's one that it should not be it. It can be a school. You can call it fashion school, but treating it like a college degree, no. Psychology, I mean, I think it's very 50-50 with how people think about it and how people use it. But I do think there is some truth in psychology. I do think I mean, like a lot of stuff, especially in this day and age, I do think a lot of stuff in our modern day age of 2024 has been feminized and wokeified. So it's hard to really pinpoint exactly what is beneficial because, I mean, obviously a healthy mind is a good thing and having people to talk to is a good thing. But that's why you had churches and that's why you had family and friends. That's who you would go to talk to. You would know the right person, like dealing with this problem, dealing with that problem. You know the right people. Like maybe not all your friends were good to talk to about your problems, but you knew this person was good at these kind of problems. This person was these problems, Or you had your wife. I mean, because I think to a point you would talk to your wife. I mean, if it had to do with issues between you and him, but if you had to do with life issues and ideas that could help, I mean, benefit, or have like a chance to make more money, or a problem that you need a guy's opinion. You would go to one of your guy friends and have a chit chat with him. I don't think guys should go to chicks unless it's your wife, and those are only times when it actually involves your wife. But otherwise, you go to guys. Um, and I think honestly, women should go to their husband when they have a problem. I do think women should go to and talk. And I don't see a problem with communication, but I do think women need to check, have some healthy female friends that you could probably go to and say, hey, is this just me being a woman, or am I on to something right now? Like, no, girl, no, that's stupid, all right? Or maybe a little bit, but, he is under a lot of pressure, because, I mean, guy friends, I mean, back in the day, I mean, sometimes the guy friends would work with each other. Like, I would be working at the same office that Bob worked. Charlie would be working on the bank. Bob would be working at the gas station. But me and Chris would be working over here, at this place. So, I mean, and we also lived, in the same neighborhood. Neighborhoods were a lot closer. You knew your neighbors. I mean, maybe, you didn't know everything about all of them. And, block parties, neighborhood parties, people actually hung out. People were a whole lot closer back in the day. We just seem to be like, all this technology, that was supposed to make us more closer. It just seems to be dividing us. It just seriously, I mean, I love technology. I think it's beneficial, but I think how we're using it and what we're creating is just dividing us. We're not even trying to I mean, maybe Elon Musk is trying to get to Mars and all that, but I mean, what is this really the world that we've come to call the future? And I mean, what does the future have in store for our children? How long do we have left? I mean, honestly, if we keep, I mean, my personal opinion, if we keep going like this, I mean, I don't think we're gonna have that much longer. Maybe it's 100 years, maybe it's 1,000 years, and maybe that's a long time to some people, but compared to the dinosaurs, I mean, we have not, been doing very good. I don't know. And all this political talk and all that shit, and all this talk with the CEO murder guy that was caught, and just this stupid. I mean, all this shit that has gone on in the last 4 years that we're just letting slide by, like the coke in the office, Hunter being fucking um, pardoned, Trump apparently being president, which I think honestly he is better out of Kamala and Biden, but he's just gonna make the world back to how it was. And then after 4 years of him fixing what Biden fucked up, is he gonna run again? Is he gonna like step down? Who's gonna be the president then? I mean, do people not like think like we're so stuck in right now? We're not even thinking about the future. Like, what does the future have in store? Everybody gets on me because they think I'm future tripping and getting lost in thought and all that. But no, I'm just on point. I mean, I'm thinking like right now and 50 years into the future.